Hi all, this is Skate, and this is the new Tier 8 Premium T34-3. It's a Chinese medium tank, and it's not too dissimilar to a Type 59 Premium tank. Except, this has less armor, it has less DPM, it has less mobility than a Type 59. And I enjoy my Type 59, so I was a bit apprehensive after looking at this thing on paper. I mean, even if you look at a T34-2, the Tech Tree version, I gotta say, watch this burn. It makes you feel... Why hasn't he got a fire extinguisher? Why didn't he put that out? That's over 800 damage already, thanks to that guy. Now we're up on around 1200. And then the Super Persian from the enemy team has seen what tank this is, and has probably just assumed I'm a gold noob, and is gonna rush me. This is a funny game. Right. Serious information. Right, okay. So comparing it to a Type 59, it kind of feels like it pales. The only thing it's got going for it in that aspect is with that 122, the aim time is just phenomenal. That's what makes this tank so special, is that aim time. It's so nice. It really is. The backhand of all that is, it kind of feels like everything else suffers a little bit as a result. So on paper, it doesn't look the greatest tank. I mean, you're talking about a Tier 8 tank, a Tier 8 medium tank, with 1,781 DPM. And that's with a rammer. Take away your rammer and you have 1,656. Take away your provisions and you've got 1,564. Doesn't sound healthy in any shape or form. So jumping into this thing, I was very much, this is gonna suck. Especially when you think, well, you could compare it straight away then to the T34-2 with the 122. Most people I know take the 100mm gun on the T34-2, but if you're comparing it to the T34-2 in that aspect, it has the same DPM, virtually the same aim time, but it's more mobile, and it has better dispersion on the move. And remember, the T34-2, even with this gun, is more mobile. All those things taken into consideration, though, I hate to say it, but I really like this tank. For starters, they should have some unwritten rule that no tank is allowed into the game without a big tasty MG on top, because the gun on the top of this turret looks amazing. The model on this tank looks great. It's a good looking tank. So I have enjoyed, I mean, look at it, it looks great. And I've enjoyed the playstyle on it. You got to play a little bit more reserved than you normally would a medium tank, purely because your DPM sucks. And when I say sucks, that'll become quite apparent in this one, because in this game it catches me out. And the reason it catches me out is because a Tier 7 heavy IS reloads faster than me. And that's something you need to adjust your medium tank play mindset for, because in your head, well, you're going to reload faster than most heavies which pack a big alpha shot, especially when you're a higher tier as well. So that's something that caught me out, and the reason it caught me out is because, I don't know, I'm just used to being able to reload faster than heavy tanks, especially big alpha heavy tanks, and especially when they're a lower tier than me. The redeeming factor for me is that aim time. You'll see it later on into this game. There's an IS against me, and he stops to start aiming before I have even finished my reload. However, as soon as I have finished my reload, we aim in a damn sight quicker, and we manage to finish him off before he puts one more into us. But when playing this thing, I was trying to rely more on those opportunistic shots than trying to go play the medium, possibly in your face, out DPMing things, or just irritating things with good frontal armor while putting shots into them, like you can do in a Type 59. So this thing, the gameplay is much more reserved, because you've got to keep to positions where you're covered while you're on those big old 13-second plus reloads. I mean, what's my reload all equipped? This tank is fully equipped, and I think we're looking 13.5. But again, that's something you can use to your advantage. I mean, as it stands right now, I've popped my head out there. I know there's a Borsig and there's things around the corner. But I've shot. They're potentially expecting me to come back for the next few seconds. But I've got a massive reload, so I have no intention of coming back there for a while. So they're probably going to give up looking in that direction, which means I can, in theory, do the same thing again. And hopefully they would have given up, just sat there waiting for those few seconds for me to reload and pop back round. But that is part of the thing. The gameplay is much more reserved. I'm trying to keep as close as I can to the left-hand side, so if I am exposed, then, well, at least there's very little of me exposed. And now there is another Type 59 up there, so I'm going to go and try and help the other half, and we are going to go and try and rush this guy. First, though, I want to try and go around the other side, so there's one of us on either side. But remember, there is a Borsig up there and around there somewhere, and there is another tank there. So I'm going to take a shot, the guy backs off, and now I'm going to go try and help. She is very, very low health now, though, so I'm going to try and block the shot. And the Type 59, credit to this enemy guy, he knows exactly what he's doing. You can see I'm trying to block the shot, but he manages to get the shot over me and in and finish her off. Which means we're in a 2-on-4 situation. It's myself and one other. It's myself and one other versus 3 now. And they are going to finish him off, so it's myself in a 1 versus 3. With a 13.5 second reload, things like this can be challenging. Which is why I'm ignoring that IS at this point in time, and I'm after that Borsig. Because now we're in a 2-on-1. And the Borsig has a damn nasty gun. Next thing, to try and address that IS, or at least whittle him down before the other American heavy makes his way down here. We managed to snap one into the IS, but he managed to snap one into us. So here's where my mindset was, well, he's a tier 7 heavy. I'm going to reload faster than him. You can see I'm trying to angle myself up. I'm loaded. I fire, but he's there on the reload already. And remember, his reload is shorter than mine. Bit annoying. But you can see he's nearly finished there. He's aiming in now, but we do manage to snap him off purely because of that quick aim time. Without the quick aim time, we wouldn't have done that, I don't think. In perspective, his aim time is 12.6 seconds. Mine is 13.5. The major difference is my aim time is like 0.8 seconds. And his is like 2.5. That's a fully equipped comparison anyway. And then obviously remember his gun dispersion is slightly worse. His is 0.41 and this is 0.389. Now I am going to play slightly reserved now and trying to play it defensively. And I did load a heat round to go through the cheek of that M6A2E1. And you'll see I'm just trying to make sure that I have cover constantly, and I'm trying to position myself ready for the next reload. He's trying to hide behind cover, however he's left his butt sticking out. But I'm still not going to try and rush him, because he does have a quicker reload than me, and he does have better penetration values. And there is the potential for me to obviously bounce a shot off him. So I'm still going to play defensive, even though it's endgame, and it almost looked like it was in the bag, but just to be on the safe side, because you never know. And the last thing you want is to go rushing out, going, yeah, it's in the bag, and then screw it up. I've done it. I imagine a lot of you guys have done it. It's really annoying. End result with that one, though, we did 3,945 damage. It's a premium tank, so we want another credits. We walked away with 116,524. However, 34,000 was from a mission. So remove the mission, and we are looking 82,524 credits profit. Now, that's not too bad when you consider we fired one heat shell. But then again, that heat shell penetrated, and it's the only heat shell we fired. So it's not the greatest on credits. It's good. It is good, but I always, the stick, the benchmark for me is a T34. A Lerva, the king of credits, Super Pershing. They're the sorts of things I think when I think tier 8 premium credit moneymaker. Now, this final battle, this is what I think is the optimal sort of scenario for a T34-3. I get to play the thing at medium range, and I get to take advantage of that aim time. And in this sort of circumstance, when you're playing the mid to long range game in this tank, Well, your aim time is just... oh, mwah, it's fantastic. But then the reload is kind of negated and less of a concern as long as you can make those shots connect when you do make them. And obviously you're less exposed because of that aim time. You get your shot in, you get straight back into cover. Except I wasn't paying attention as the other half was trying to go around. I went into the side of her. My bad. I'm assuming they've all gone towards C, which is why I'm trying to push over this crest. And I'm going to try and use this sort of position. And you'll see what I mean by the aim time. It's just great. And I walked into this tank, as I mentioned at the start. I just expected to dislike this thing. Looking at it on paper, I just thought, it's just not the greatest. And I do find it frustrating with that reload, especially at tier 8. I mean, as another comparison for you, an IS-6 has a quicker reload than this thing. IS-6, by the way, also has the same gun dispersion, and with that gun it has 221mm of penetration, whereas this thing has 175. In other words, if an IS-6 pushes you, knows what they're doing, rushes you, you're going to struggle because you're going to have to fire premium to penetrate the front of their armor if they are angling correctly, and they're not going to need it for you, and they've got a quicker reload. So you have to play this thing at range. Well, you don't have to, but realistically, this sort of medium range is just perfect for this tank because you can pop up, you can use that aim time, quickly aim in, get yourself back into cover. But as soon as you get things like an IS-3, an IS-6, an IS-5, things which are ridiculously good tanks at tier 8 pushing you, well, that's when you're really going to struggle, because with the mobility on those things and the mobility on this, you can't exactly run away. So yeah, all in all, expected to dislike this tank. Went into it, just assuming I would dislike. I've actually enjoyed the tank, but your gameplay has to be adjusted to suit the game, to suit this tank, and to suit its traits. And that is quite significant from what we normally assume is medium-style gameplay. If you don't, you will just be left feeling ridiculously frustrated with this thing because of that aim. Well, not because of the aim time, because of the reload time. Like I said, there's so many things. With more armor and good mobility and better penetration at tier 8, the entire IS range is an example, which has more armor and has good mobility and can out DPM you. Go figure. Now the final point, is it worth buying? If this was in the store for, say, £30 or something like that, I'd probably pick it up just for the sake of having some fun games in it. It's not though, is it? You've got a 5% chance from those crates. I think it's fairly obvious from my previous videos what my viewpoint is on those crates. And as per the 121B video, as a personal thing, I won't be trying. But I'm going to go into that in much more depth in a different video. I've already started working on a video to discuss this topic in depth. Won't have a lot of gameplay in, but I think it is something which a lot of people will find interesting. And others will just go, yeah, no gameplay, not interested. But we'll cover that more in that video. That game, we did 4,642 damage, and we walked away with 107,000 credits profit. So if you like this sort of gameplay, you would probably enjoy this tank. If you get annoyed by the fact that every single thing with more armor and is meant to be a heavy tank has better DPM than you, then, well, you're just going to end up frustrated with this tank. All in all, it's not the greatest, but it was kind of fun. I never expected that. And even more frustrating, it looks great. Hope you've enjoyed the quick insight into the tank. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.